I guess that means we're good to go, right? We're good? Okay. Let's get this thing rolling. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome on into the Big Access Podcast. My name is Brach. I'm the VP of Marketing over here at PDK, and I am also the host of the Big Access Podcast. And today we are going to be talking with Joe Fitch with AssureTech out of kind of the Dallas, Texas area. But today he's going to be talking to us all about storage installations. Storage is actually one of the biggest verticals that you'll find PDK in. A lot of people don't think about that, but storage is a really good application for access control. And that's going to be basically our topic today. We're going to learn all about how AssureTech goes about installing into storage and why they ultimately choose PDK. But first, I want to learn a little bit more about Joe. So Joe, thanks a ton for joining us on this week's episode.
Yes, sir. Glad to be with you guys.
Hey, well, thank you. I want to learn a little bit more about AssureTech before we dive into the storage side of things. So tell us a little bit about who you guys are, what you guys specialize in, and ultimately, why you guys install PDK.
I've got 35 years experience in the industry, and a lot of my clientele follow me up with my company. I've had my own company, AssureTech, 18 years this August 1st. And we kind of integrate electric gates, cameras, access control, commercial fire. And so we get our foot in doors we wouldn't be able to normally get into. Builders, contractors, it kind of just goes from there. And the storage units usually are ones that are mom and pops that are being bought out by bigger industry companies, and we're just upgrading them to PDK. People like the PDK. The cloud-based system is real simple, user-friendly, and it's pretty much you just install it and you walk away pretty much.
That's cool. How long have you guys been servicing and installing PDK?
Probably about 4 or 5 years, probably somewhere in there. Yeah, we started out with a couple of customers that wanted us to install them, and then we just went into installing them ourselves without my company, AssureTech.
Yeah.
People love them.
Oh, that's good. I love to hear that people love PDK because I might be a little biased, but I love PDK too. But tell me a little bit about why do you guys stick with PDK? What after you guys installed because people were requesting it? What made you ultimately continue to install PDK?
Just the fact that it's user friendly. We've got a lot of users out here that don't want to know anything about it until when you try to explain to them, they don't want to have to call you, and they don't have to because it's so simple. It's what I like about the PDK, real user friendly. And once you explain to them one time, it's pretty obvious they know how to take care of it. If they do call, it's usually because the system's powered down or network's lost or something. Really user friendly to install also.
That is ultimately what we hear all the time too, right? The user friendliness is so important when you are putting in a system on the install front, but then especially on the management side of things, you want to have a system that an end user is going to be able to understand. And like you said, it's a system that you can get in there and in 10 to 15 minutes, you can understand access control without even having any access control experience in the past. So that's awesome.
It's common sense. Yeah, if you got common sense, yeah, that's what I like about it. Some of them are so complicated that we've done in the past, key scan, and we've done pretty much everything in the industry, but PDK has been the best one as far as flopping it over to the end user,
Mm-hmm.
take it from there, but it's pretty common sense.
No, I hear you there. That's what makes it awesome. And so that's another big reason, that common sense, functionality of being able to have it be user friendly. That's a big reason why storage facilities like to use PDK as well. And so talk to me a little bit about why storage facilities need security at them.
Well, there's a lot of theft going on between. It's not just burglars. It's ex-wife, ex-husband, in-laws, family, and then they just wanted more control of their units, storage units, and the owners want to be able to monitor who's paid and who hasn't paid, and it's real user friendly for them to disable somebody remotely instead of driving all the way back to their office. You can do it through the cloud-based system, and it just kind of goes from there. Just a lot of people want total control, and that's what they've got. Their facilities. Most of the investors want to know too, so they can also weigh in and check their updates regularly without calling a technician. It's pretty simple, user-friendly software.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about when it comes time to go out and do one of these installs that you've got out there. What makes a storage facility installation unique and kind of different from your standard access control installation that you might be doing in like a commercial building?
Uh, well, it's pretty laid out and basic system. If you've never even done one before, it's pretty common sense. A lot of these business owners will attempt to do them, and they don't realize how user friendly they are, and they get intimidated, and they'll call us. But we end up taking a lot of those and do them, install them for them, and then just turn it over to them. Yeah, so it's just user friendly and for the technician, and also turn it over to the end user. They it's all common sense. The other systems are complicated, and you got a software issues always, and you're not authorized, and you got to be a certain dealer before you can actually get tech support and all that. PDK has always been excellent. The tech support team's always been excellent.
Yeah, that's one of our pride and joys there. We love our tech support. So when you're doing a storage installation, obviously it's going to be dependent upon the type of storage facility it is. You obviously have your climate controlled storage facilities. You have your lots that are filled with a bunch of garages and are secured by a perimeter gate and a swinging gate or a vertical lift gate that will allow people to come in. But what do you find is most common in your area? What type of storage facilities do you most commonly install PDK at?
Usually, here lately, it's been mom and pops. We've got a lot of small cities on the outskirts of Tyler, Longview. We're just east of Dallas, and so there's mom and pops everywhere. They're just actually selling out and retiring, and so a lot of the bigger companies are coming in and buying them out, and we're just setting it up where they can remote from Chicago or St. Louis or Houston or Dallas, and just the application is so simple and iCloud based, and it's always there and it's solid. They dock it because it's always they don't have to call all the time. It's either if you've got power and you've got network, you're set up.
Yeah. Do you guys usually find that you guys secure the gate, and so when somebody walks up, or drives up, they go ahead and type in a code, or do they use a mobile credential? How do they usually do that to access the gate?
So I'm just they don't really. Well, I like the Bluetooth part of it, and it does a lot of stuff that people don't realize it does. But I like the fact that it logs and it has an event pop up on any entries, like employees or tenants. It automatically logs, and so you can go in and see, and you can go back in your video system and see when they came in and when they left. Make sure it was actually the person that did come and go. Makes it easier on the managers to locate who came in and went out. If somebody's unit was emptied out, they can go back and find out the ex-wife came in or the ex-husband came in or it was broken into, and they can narrow down faster with the PDK system event log.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about like what more management experience is like on the end user front. Obviously, they love how simple it is. They love that they can do it from anywhere. You were just talking about being able to see these logs. Is there anything else that the end user just loves about the platform and how it works?
Well, financing, no, if they don't pay their bills, they can't get in, and they can actually log in and remotely instead of driving all the way to the facilities. That's what they like the most because before you'd have to drive, the manager would have to be there on staff 24/7 or to do the financing to see who paid monthly, and if they didn't pay, they just lock them out remotely in seconds. And so it's really user friendly. The cloud based option is what people like the most, I think. In fact, that it's user friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That ability to just disable and re-enable whenever an account goes delinquent, I think is so important.
Right. Yeah.
So talk to me about how do you go about finding different storage centers in your area to bid out and ultimately install PDK on?
We've got a website, and I'm in a network group. We're member of the Chamber of Commerce in Longview, Texas, and then also Greenville, Texas, and we network with other in northern Dallas areas, and uh, mainly just word of mouth. I've been doing it so long. I've been very fortunate that the customers I've had in the past have followed me, so I've been pretty fortunate in that area. But just networking online and Facebook, I do a lot of little photos and PDK photos of projects and jobs and installations, and kind of throw in it for personal, and it actually goes out on personal Facebook. I don't do the business end, but people pick up on it, and most of my customers are business owners and friends. and they're just word of mouth, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and what do you, when you go out there to go and look at these, is there anything in particular that you were looking for to make sure that you are doing the perfect or recommending the perfect products for the installation?
We'll do a test with the system to see if it works wireless, or it will just as far as installation goes, we let them know in advance. You know, we try to hardwire as much as we can, and then we kind of go out and do the measurements and all that with the customer and up front with everything. If you're up front with the customer, they'll be a customer for life as long as you're being upfront and honest with them. And they just want a reliable system, so they'll be willing to pay for hardwired or whatever they need to do to make it consistent. You know, they don't have to be on site regularly. It's pretty much sometimes they're not there for months. Sometimes some of the mom and pops, it's pretty much it's self-contained. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about a storage installation that AssureTech has done recently.
Um, let's see. We've got some. We pretty regularly. We just come in. Usually, we'll upgrade an existing system. As far as the new installations, it's just have to deal with. Most of them don't have. They don't have the conduits in between each storage unit, so you have to do another means of getting, ubiquities or hotspots, and to get the range, you're needing to get to all the units if they want them all the climate control rooms and all that doors. So it's just I don't know, you get a little labor involved, but they're willing to pay for it. The customer is commercial wise or residential, if they know they're getting a good quality system,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for one of these installs that you have done previously, when you're out there doing the storage installation, how long does it take you guys to get everything running from start to finish, from getting that bid in their hands to turning the keys over to them?
We usually have a bid to them within 24 to 48 hours, and then the installation depends on the application. Some of these mom and pops are just there's not even asphalt and concrete; it's dirt and rock, and so
Yeah.
you got to run into the old dig testing and all that, and so we average probably 16 to 24 hours on a good average system.
Yeah.
Smaller application and change out, we can probably do it in 16 probably.
That's pretty awesome. And so with that, I assume that you're is there any trenching involved on those dirt lots? That trenching's a little bit easier, right? And so you can get all your wires run underneath. But if you run into a situation where there's concrete and pavement, that's really where a product like the wireless pedestal controller can really come into play and be very handy, right? It makes it so you don't have to trench and you don't have to pull those wires under the concrete. You're going to be totally good to go and just use that wireless communication. Do you guys find that I heard you mention a little bit earlier that you guys use the wireless range test kit to see how the controllers work? What type of scenarios do you usually have to look at doing the wireless in?
Well, a lot of three quarters of them are all metal. So then you've got spray foam insulation. Sometimes blocks a lot of the signal, and just depends on it. Different applications. Every application is different. The dig testing and make sure you're not hitting anything, and trenching is always the fun part too. But it's a part of it. You know, um, yeah. The every application is different, so just you can't go in thinking it's going to be the same everywhere you go. I can guarantee you 90% of them are going to be different. So just go in with just you have to get with either electricians and have them run your lines for you, or do it yourself. We do it ourselves. Our technicians I've got staff been here probably 12. Some of the technicians have been here 12 years, 6 years, 8 years, and I know exactly what to do, and we're not afraid of any conduit runs or trenching, or we do pretty much everything at AssureTech.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Well, Joe, it's been fantastic taking some time to chat with you about storage installations and about why PDK is the perfect install or a perfect product to install at a storage application. So I want to thank you a ton for taking the time out of your busy day to come jump on this episode of the Big Access Podcast. Thank you a ton. It's been very informative for me, and I'm sure our guests and visitors and watchers and listeners, they all are going to love it as well. So thank you.
Awesome. You guys are the best. Thanks for everything. Your
Hey, you
tech support too. They're great.
No, we'll be sure to pass along the info.
Thank you.
We love them.
Have a good day.
Hey, you as well. For those of you guys who have not done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the Big Access Podcast. Leave it a 5-star rating, and also let us know if there's anything in particular that you guys are looking to learn, and we'll be sure to add that to an upcoming episode. But thank you guys all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Big Access Podcast. We will see you next time.